Before I start, I just want to mention an initiative. It's an initiative. It's called Machson Lapi. It's an unpaid advertisement. I got this last night from two young women who have this idea, which I thought was brilliant. They are joining together with all Klal Israel to watch our speech for 1 hour. So the entire world, starting from California at 6 a.m. and ending off with Australia at 11 p.m., 1 hour over Tisha B'Av, which in Israel is from 4 to 5 p.m. Everyone should make a special effort to Machsam Lapi, not speak Lashon Hara during that time. And imagine the power we have as we eliminate Lashon Hara from the world for 1 hour. So I thought this was brilliant. I thought it was one nation, 1 hour, one goal. So remember that, 4 to 5 p.m. on Tisha B'Av, and you can sign up for it as soon as I get the email. Okay. Anyway, I'm mentioning that because my notes are on the other side here. We spoke last time about machlokas between the Rajba and the Rush, right? When we say bittul, the Rush says the Isser is nepach leheter, becomes heter, but if more comes in, then it's choser near. We'll speak about that soon. But I'd like to focus a little bit on the Rajba today, because the Mechaber Pasuk like the Rajba, the Ramah says we samach on the Rush, Hefsed. But I saw a very interesting machlokas how to understand the Rajba. But before that, try to make it a little bit lemaisa. We're having a little trouble finding something lemaisa because it's a machlokas how to understand the Rajba, but there is a halacha nafkamina lemaisa. I know that there's a yid called Before Rechnitzer. He deals with Rav Sternbach's pills. You know, Sternbach has one of these, 97 Kananhar. It's one of those weekly pill trays, dispensers. So every day you put the pills in and you give it out, right? So the following shaila, right? Someone had some pills with veggie gelatin, vegetable gelatin, and they made the same pills with animal fat gelatin. Most gelatin today is either made from vegetables or from pigs, apparently pigskin. So let's say there was 2 in each for each day of the week, and then they went and put a third one in. They ran out. They put a third one in. So for every day of the week now, you have 2 gelatin capsules. No, sorry, 2 vegetable capsules and 1 gelatin capsules. Yeah, can you take all these 3 pills together? That's the question for today. Yeah, can I swallow all these 3 pills together? Right? Because we saw in the Rajba, right? Okay, so that's the question. It's good, clear.
Gelatin is not kosher.
Oh, so the gelatin is not kosher.
What's the shadow?
Okay, one thing.
Is not kosher?
No, you're asking a good question. I want to ask this question to Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, and he told me you could take it. He said it's not food. You could take it. It's machlokas. But Moshe holds you need a hechsher. It's aser. He says, but you can eat it on Shabbos. And Rav Shlomo Zalman holds you don't need hechsher, but it's medicine on Shabbos, right? So Shlomo Zalman held it's medicine, doesn't need hechsher, so it's right. Rav Moshe held it was food, you need hechsher. But Rav Sternbach for sure holds you need hechsher. That's no shah. But let's assume that it's definitely not kosher, but the question is maybe you could eat it because it's not food. Okay, we're going to the side that it's treif.
Yeah. You're doing a barbecue. Your neighbors are doing a barbecue. They don't eat kosher, and they came over to your house to say hi. You got the chicken wing, one of your chicken wings.
Well, no, I don't want to use that case. You'll see in a second why I picked we very carefully selected that case. Okay. In any event, so why am I picking a case about pills, and not barbecues, right? Barbecues are much more fun, especially during the 3 weeks, 9 days. So the answer is because there's a very interesting machlokas between the Prima Gaden and the Chovos Das. And we mentioned the Prima Gaden already. The Prima Gaden says, 2 places, he speaks it out, that what the Raj, does he say, points out a steer in the Rajba. From the beginning of the Rajba says that the reason you need shishim by min b'minoi of lach, is because it's connector, right? There's no time here now, but connector. In the case of min b'shem amino, you would need it. So mainly you need it by min b'mino. But later on, when he talks about yavish v'yavish, he says because you're for sure eating the isser, right? It's a very fundamental question, right? Is the din derabanan, pasha derabanan. Although Rabbi Kalish wanted to suggest from the Gra, the way the Gra learns is Drais, and we saw Shimon Shkaf says like that, even though it seems like the Rajba himself is not saying like that. But is the reason why you're not allowed to eat all, even after Bit the Barov, you're not allowed to eat all the pieces together, is it because you're putting Isser in your mouth, right? We know that one of these pieces is Isser, right? There's 3 pieces, Bit the Barov. So you can eat one at a time, or maybe even one person can eat one at a time, or maybe you need 3 people to eat it. We'll get to that. But is it because you're for sure eating Isser, or is it because in a matzav of lach, right? When you cook it, then you need shisha, right? That's the question. What's that? That's the way I understood it's Rabbanan. The Rosh doesn't say it's Rabbanan. Right. The Rosh is learning it's Deraisa, right? And the Rosh will say it's Rabbanan. Rav Kalish told me yesterday, that he held in the Gra, where the Gra explains the Raj, but it's also Deraisa. It's not a din of Bittul Barov, it's Holchan Acharov, right? The way the Gra brings it down, right? He says you could be total each one that is saying, right? Not like Rav Chaim. And we found this morning that Hashem Shkap says like that in Shai Yosher, like Shai doesn't want to say. It's a little difficult in the Rajam himself, because the Rajam himself seems to say it's only to Rabbanan. I'll go upon him. That's one way to understand why you can't put all the Yisr together in your mouth, right? Because you're for sure eating Yisr. That's one way, right? The other way, or another way to learn it, which is very interesting, is in the Chovas Das. The Chovas Das says that the problem is for sure a problem of tam, right? You're going to come to, it'll be tam. That makes sense by lach balach. Why yavish b'yavish? What kind of tam is it? Because as you're chewing the food, right, there'll be saliva, right? And it'll mix together all in your mouth, right? So when it mixes together all in your mouth, then you'll have tam. So that's why it's usher to put all 3 pieces of meat together in your mouth. If you put 2 pieces in and you're chewing it, well, you could say maybe the usher's in the first one, right? Or 1 piece and then 2, right? But when you chew it, right, and every Jewish mother says you have to chew your food a lot, right? It's healthy. So when you're chewing it, so the saliva will turn it into a situation of lach. Yeah, that's why you can't eat all 3 pieces together. You hear that? Yeah.
You say therefore the pills when you're not chewing, when you tell it.
Oh, so therefore the pills, right? Even if you take the pills with water, you don't chew pills, right? So you're swallowing all 3 pills. According to the Prima Garden, it should still be usher because I have all 3 pills. One of them is usher, right? Or at least according to Rav Moshe. So, and Rav Moshe Sternbach, Rav Moshe Feinstein. So I'm swallowing one of the pills of Isser. It'll still be a problem. According to the Chovas Das, though, you're not chewing pills, even though you're taking it with water, but you're not mixing all the tam together. So it's going to be mutter. Yeah, okay.
I could then say, let's say going back to the barbecue.
That's not the way normal people take pills.
According to the Chovas Das,
Yeah.
I would be allowed to swallow, take each one and swallow it whole without chewing. I'd be allowed to take chicken from 2 pieces of heter chicken and 1 Isser, and just make sure I swallow without chewing. Chovas Das would be mad that because I'm not chewing it with no saliva.
Yeah, I mean, it would be probably, same. You could say the same thing. It would be a little bit abnormal way to eat and maybe dangerous, right?
Small pieces the size of pills.
What? No, but as long as you don't eat everything together, anyway, you have a pliya.
No, I'm taking from all 3 together.
Oh, you mixed it up? Dafka you took from all 3 of them.
I eat it without chewing. I have to take from all 3. I don't chew the pieces.
It's hard. As soon as, I once asked this question of David Feinstein about wine tasting of non-kosher wine. Somebody told me he has it's interesting. The Darkei Tshuva, it's good. Darkei Tshuva says all the wine merchants do it, but it's usher. But it's minhag hasochrim. So I asked, when we were learning about the Tzemach Tzedek, who talks about tasting Yisra D'Rabbanan, it's Yisra D'Rabbanan, you can taste it. He says, no, you're for sure going to swallow some of it. So it's very hard to say such a thing. Once it's in your mouth, there's automatic saliva, it's going to mix it. Okay, but Luitzor, you want to make the case more complicated, you could say like that. Yeah.
And they really understand who is that. He's really understanding like the Rosh, in the rational. That there's such a thing called Midaraisa Bittul, that everything's bottled and becomes what the Midaraisa.
Yes, it's all bottled. This is going to be you're asking a good question. Yes, it's all mutter right now, right? It's a din d'Rabbanan that if I start chewing it together, then the time is going to be in the spashit.
What's the point
and that's
what? Just say it's a din d'Rabbanan, that it's not bottled. If you're already coming down to the d'Rabbanan, why do you have to say it's a din d'Rabbanan? Because they're all mixed together. Say it's a din d'Rabbanan, not eat all 3 together.
No, because he's learning that there's an intrinsic difference between Yavish v'Yavish and Lach v'Lach, right? And Lamaisa, once I put it in my mouth, it becomes like Lach v'Lach. I had a little bit of a diok, I want to say, in the Rashba. The Rashba says, Chayzer, his Lashon was like, does anyone have my Choser? Choser v'nivlo. What's the Choser? It's Choser v'nivlo, right? The pshat is that when you start chewing it, when you start eating it, it becomes into a matzah of lach. And Mamela, it becomes natural in this or minduraban, right? Now, it's very interesting. I think I pointed that out last time, and there's going to be other nafkaminas, right? The Rashba starts by saying you have to eat one at a time, but when he fears ois, when he says the isser, he says you can't cook it. And I was like,
maybe there's two yourselves, because when Beis Yosef quotes the Rashba,
yeah.
And therefore you're not allowed to eat them together or cook them together.
Oh, okay.
If you like Yoreh, there's no steer.
Right, okay. But it's not, the way that the Chavos Das are learning, it's very nice. Because the problem is, it's not Betzim Mitzvah. And I'll tell you the truth, there's a tshuva, I'll tell you where it is. I don't think upon the Rambam Komas, but he says Mamish Meforish, come out Meforish like this word that I'm telling you now. Right?
Capsules mentioned saliva, or is that just our way of statement that we
1 second, I'll tell you what his I'll read you exact words. I think he doesn't say saliva in Hebrew is saliva, right? Rogue, yeah, he says rogue, I think. I'll read to you. And what he says here. It's in Biurim, Kuftas of Ganhei. The Kivan Shalois.
This is the Chavos.
Yeah. Haymargish Tam Isser. Ulakach bin and Shishim. To be the Ika Shishim Batal Tam. Vein Margishim Bepiv. Right. And that's the way he understands Kenegdai. Right. Okay. Right. So that's how he's saying. He says Lois. Lois means you're chewing it. Lois. Haymargish Tam Isser. Yeah? Okay. That's usually how it's happening. Okay. No? Does everyone agree with that? Yeah.
It's coming off the words the Rashi himself used. Right? The Rashi was trying to explain this from different Dibla and Davar.
Right.
So that he was master of Davar.
It becomes Nivla. It becomes like a lach. Right. It becomes like a lach. Right. Now, so that's how the Chosa. So I saw the mice. It's very interesting. And Rosh Hashanah has pages and pages and pages on this. Like this is like, heavy lumdus over here in Shar Gimel, right? But he doesn't like the Prima Gun. He really doesn't like the Prima Gun here. He really kind of hacks him quite a bit here. And he says, what's his lashon here? I'll read it to you. 1 second. Here. Right. Hinei dasa Prima Gun. He brings a Rashba. Right? It doesn't help it the rove. It's still there's still Isser here, right? Yeah. He says, "Umama o dochek." It's not dochek meod. It's mo dochek. Lahamis. That's super different. Wow, that's like really intense. You have to be lahamis. He's talking about the Prima Gun, yeah. And he has a very nice raya. Mama should see Shimon Shkop, like how he learned the Prima Gun, right? He says, "Oh, sorry, it's the Rajba." Telo ikar chasam and a sefer. The different Prima Gun ain't sarach tam. He's talking about when he says kinegdo. He's trying to figure out why is it aser min b'mino because of kinegdo. Says Rosh Shkop. The question is not why is it aser according to Prima Gun. The question should be it's for sure aser. Yeah, because you're eating the meat. The food is in your mouth, right? So the Rashba, the Rashba doesn't have to tell you why it's aser. And even according to his teretz, it's still pasha that it's aser because it's in your mouth. Yeah, because it's in your mouth. So, right? Masha aser advar nivlolim. The sham aser mipnei she uchu b'yachad. Rak masha mutar b'shishim. Right? That's why you would have to say. Okay. So I thought that was a nice raya. Right? This is coming out over here as Raphael is saying it so nicely. Yeah. Just 1 second. Let me repeat it again, and I want to hear what you have to say. That according to the Prima Gun, the Isra is still here. The Isra is still here. Right? And Mamela, when I put it in my mouth, then I can't put all 3 pieces in my mouth because I'm eating Isra. It's Mamash Isra. Right? Mashenkin, according to the Chavos Das, this is gone. Yeah? But when I chew it, I'm creating a new Isra. I'm creating a new Isra of Lach B'Lach, and that is a problem because I'm tasting time Isra. Yeah. No, the way that the Rashba writes it, he says, what is going to be the Isser? of min b'mino, and he has to mechadish his kenegdo. Says Rosh Shimon Shkop here in Shar Test Parak Test, Shar Gimel Parak Test. He says you don't have to be done on what the isser is. If the bottom of the heter is, of course, you put it in your mouth. Of course, it's gonna be awesome. When you put the min in your mouth, it's all awesome, right? Even according to his teretz, he says that once we say kenegdo, then it's like the isra is kaim. But lamaisa, he's bothered. That's what we say. He's bothered. You can take a look at it. It's here. It's calm. He's bothered by the wrong thing. That's what he's saying. Okay. Now.
I think this Shimon Shkop is old. It's not netbach. The whole thing is on other alma. So his question is, you're eating isra, but the Rashi was mashalomet to Rosh. It's netbach. Is this a different? So his question doesn't sound Rashi either.
Right. No, but Rafael pointed out is that according to the way the Chavos Das is learning, it's not mamish nepach, but really it's not mamish nepach because you can't put it together. But it's lamaisa right now. It's no, but according to Pri Megadim, it's usher still now. There's still a chatichas isra here. Okay. Now this brings me to Rabbi Harris's question. I only have 200 shekels. I don't know. Take credit card. Right. Anyone have change? It's 200 shekels. Okay, we have to put on account to give to you. Anyway, so right before the shir, he asked me a good question, which we spent all of yesterday on that question. Right? Is lemaisa the mechaber l'chor? It sounds like the mechaber l'shitaso. Yeah, the mechaber says if I have 2 pieces of isser, 2 pieces of heter, 1 piece of isser, I could add more heter. Right? I could add more heter. It's not a problem about the isser latchila. Right? So he asked me, why not? Yeah? Why not? Why isn't it a problem of about l'isser latchila? Well, you asked according to mechaber or Amar? What? And it's already with tarobas.
The Mechaber says no, that you can't eat all 3 pieces at once. So if you're having the 2 pieces together in a rotative, all putting the tongue in the rotative, and it's only about the sheets. You're battling the Yisra and Haggad, eat them all together, the Mashish. You're battling the Yisra and Haggad, but eating all together.
Okay, very good. That's a lumbar question. Yeah, is that even though the Mechaber holds that once something's in tarobas, once it's a mixture, but there's still an Isser over here, right? There's still an Isser over here that you're being mavatal. So that's mavatal. It's a good question. So you're being mavatal the Isra of not eating all 3 pieces together. Yes.
Still not very
Who says you're Latino?
The header is there's no Isra. Isra is if you make it on the
and that's according to the Chovos Das, what you're saying is correct. According to Pri Megadim, there is Isra here, right? You're putting the Isra into your mouth. It says what? Yeah. The Rajman seems to be okay. The way the Pri Megadim learns, it doesn't. I mean, Rav Shimon Shkop uses this Ra'ah also to argue on the Pri Megadim. Okay, so Lamaisa, that was Rabbi Harris's kasha, yeah, and it seems like it's going to be dependent on this machlokas, yeah, because if you're learning the Pri Megadim, there's still Issa here, right? So then you have a problem about l'sat chila. Right, because you are mavatol the isser not to eat them all together. But if you're learning like the Chavos Das, so the kasha doesn't start, right, Rabbi Harris? Because there is no isser here, right? If I would cook them together, or if I would eat them together, then there's an isser here. But as long as I haven't done that, there's no isser here. Now, it's a little bit existential, I agree. One second, just let me finish, right? It is a little existential because there's a potential isser. Rabbi Harris here. There's a potential isser. If I chew it or if I cook it, then there will be an isser. But right now, it's complete heter. Your maska tvi, the way the Chovos Das is learning, it's complete heter.
Except you're bringing it to Matzerek by the wine of the north, where there's no green picture yet, but you're using bottle of milk inside wine, because somebody, future day, perhaps someone will bring the wine with me. There, he's also down with it.
I didn't like that sentence. But I can hear that a little more, because Chazal made Gedorim by Bas B'chalav, they have to be careful on this. But right now, there's completely mutter. There's no problem with it, right? Nitzan Mavat L'Israel Atchila, there shouldn't be a problem with it, right? But okay, you could always argue. It's always possible. Okay, so that's what will come out, right? So according to the Pri Megadim, Ein Achinami, right? It should be a problem. I saw that the Bari Shulchan asked this question on Pri Megadim, and he says like this. He says like a Lumdisha answer over here. Maybe that'll make Rabbi Harris more happy. He says like this. Right. Oh yeah, it's over here. Sorry. Right. He says, "Nira das posuk machirem the surah dachil shlosh masachas enu mitzad tam zelazeh." This is the prima gun. Tzarich lomer kivan the akshav kvar chalav towards bittul. Right now it's bittul. The Inyan kol echad b'fnei atzmo. Right. You're allowed to eat each one by itself. Yeah. Va'ribu yad shishim ein olam mosif b'koach habittul. V'lo nesa b'kei gavin v'invat l'satchila. V'lo gazu b'zeh elek shemechad towards bittul. K'shemechel, towards bittul. Mashalai towards bittul. So there's already, even according to Prima Gun, there's already a bittul over here, right? It's just a limited bittul, right? A bomb, yeah? It's a limited bittul, right? It's a bittul that I can eat one at a time. That's ready enough. It's not called about those skill. As long as you remember, you know what it's kind of like the Achronim and even the Radbaz said it. The problem with Matal Sadchila is that you're going to start getting rid of all Yisrael. But I have a way out here anyway. Yeah? I have a way out here anyway. So once there's a way out, so it doesn't bother us so much anymore if you're going to add Esra. You hear that? Yes. It's nice.
Just allowing the bittul that reaches full,
what?
Rather than making a bittul happen, you're just allowing a bittul that already happened to reach its full conclusion, whatever.
Right. You're just extending, to make you're getting rid of problems. You're not really making a bittul. You're just preventing future issues coming up with the bittul. Yeah. So that's as far as that goes. Okay. Fine. Okay. One more question here. We'll finish off with that. There's an interesting question. My Chavrusa asked me like this. So what happens now, right? Let's say, according to the Rashba, or according to Rush even, right? The Rush says it's Nebach, it's Gelatin, but he also says Chozamir. So what happens if I ate one piece of the tarovis? Yeah? What if I had two pieces of heter and one piece of Isser? So now, according to Rashba and the Rush, I can eat one piece at a time. And even unless I one piece, it's still mutter, right? So let's say according to the Rush now, yeah? According to the Rush, I ate one piece, and now another piece of it fell in, right? Do we say Choz V'nir in such a case, right? The Rosh Hashita is that once Isser falls into Tarovis, we say Choz V'nir, right? Even though it's Nebach, it's interesting. It's kind of like almost counterintuitive, but you understand the Rosh is a Holachachar Rove, right? So I don't have a Rove anymore. So if I had two pieces of Ezer, one piece of Isser, and one more piece of Isser fell in, so I don't have a Rove anymore. I can't go after the Rove, so now I can't eat it anymore, right? But let's say I ate one piece of Tarovis. So I went from 3 to 2, and now another piece of Isser falls in. So how am I going to look at this? Yeah, what do you say, Adam?
I think that you have to assume the first one was left of the road, so you most likely had that. And he's watching one some had that.
And you would answer it,
yeah.
Right? Anyone else? Any matir? Call it the Heter Adav, right? Anyone want to matir it? Victor, you want to matir it? Okay. We're serving it on Wednesday for the Rosh Hashanah. What? The case is like this, right? You had this is like your Shiloh, you told me this morning. You had 2 pieces of heter and 1 piece of Isser, yeah? And you ate 1 piece, according to the heter, bittul rove. You're allowed to eat one at a time. And now another piece of Isser fell onto the tarovis, right? So what do I say? Can I say here now, according to Rush, the Rush holds Choz V'nir. If I add something to the tarovis, the Isser is Choz V'nir. So Adam wants to asr it, yeah? Adam wants to be Yerushalayim, to be makar, asr it, right? One second. The case is I had 2 pieces of heter and 1 piece of Isser falls in. It's Batam Rov. I'm allowed to eat all 3 pieces one at a time, right? But so I ate 1 piece. And meanwhile, another piece of Isser fell in.
Is that not the Rosh's case?
No, the Rosh is talking about when you cooked it together.
I don't think it should be matzah.
What? Oh, I want to be matzah. Yeah, why? Oh, very good. Very good. That? Yeah? You would also be matzah? It's 2 against 1. You're matzah also. Rabbi Hazard.
Remember that when we discuss this, what sounds like a case like this, that you're trying to make a heter out of a piece that's not actually about a heter. For instance, heter also soccer swing rather than also does. So you can't make a heter out of something that's not actually cool.
Okay. I'll tell you why I also agree with the Matir. Yeah? And if you look in the Rush, there's a Madani Yontif. The Madani Yontif explains the Rush. He says, why is it Choz Veneer? What's this Choz Veneer? It wakes up, like Choz Veneer, like it woke up. It was sleeping and now it woke up. It was Nebach Leheter and now it wakes up. He says it didn't Hukar Yisrael. Hukar Yisrael. So my Karus and I were like, Hukar Yisrael, like I don't see it. Hukar Yisrael means like, you could point to it, or we brought the fat in, right, and you put the water in, and it gels to the surface. You can see it, or you can mark it which one is. Why is this Hukar Yisrael? So the pshat is Lefini's daiti is that, like Yisrael said, the word is that it's a din d'oraisa of Holchan Acharov, right, and that when I know now mitzad ma'idiyah, I can't actually see it, but I know now that's like Hukar Yisrael, right? I know that there's two pieces of Isser here, right? And only, and two pieces of heter, right? So it's like Hukar Yisrael. And now we have a new psak of Holchan Acharov, Basar Obitza. What's that?
Why don't I say also? I know that.
No, because another piece fell in. A second piece fell in. In a normal case, you didn't eat it. Just 1 second, let me finish, please. You have two pieces of heter, one piece of Isser, right? You can eat that. But now, in the second piece of Isser fell in, according to the Rush, if we say it's Hukar Yisrael, and it's no longer a Holchan Acharov, it's a Shabbat b'Shabbat, right? Okay. Right? And which is Asr. It's Chazi Yisrael, right? So now, what happens if I eat a piece, right? So I want to say like this, and my Chavus agree with me on this, yeah? It's no longer called Hukar Yisrael, right? Because Hukar Yisrael is when I can clearly say, right, that there was two pieces of Isser and two pieces of Heter. But Hayos, that it's not Nicker anymore, right? That there's for sure Isser here, so we won't say Choz Veneer, right? This is what we understood the Madani was coming to add, right? The din of Hukar Yisrael is only one. I know, right? Even though you can't see it, all looks the same, right? But I know there's two pieces of Isser and two pieces of Heter, right? So we can't say Holchan Acharov anymore. It's 50-50, right? Mashikain, once I ate one piece, so maybe I ate the Isser, yeah? Maybe I ate the Isser. It's not Hukar Yisrael anymore. What the Madani Yantiv is coming to add is a Gevaldik Azach, yes, Mamsh Madanim, that Lamaise, there has to be a lumdus to this Choz Veneer. It's not just like wake it up and now it's back, right? It was Nebach Lesser. It was Nebach Letter. So how did it just change back to Isser? The answer is because even though it's dormant, but I know it's there. Yeah, I know there's an Isser there that was Nebach Letter, but it exists, right? When a second piece falls in, I know that piece exists. So that's called Hukar Yisrael, right? Because the din Holchan Acharov tells us, right? If I have two pieces of heter, one piece of Isser, I paskin heter. If I have two pieces of Isser and two pieces of heter, I paskin Isser. Yeah, right? I have to know, though, there are two pieces of Isser and two pieces of heter. But the moment I ate one of them, so I don't know that anymore, so I can be mekel. It's not called Hukar Yisrael. It has to be nicker. It has to be clear that there's Isser over here. And Mamela, if it's not clear anymore that there's Isser, then Lefini's daiti, that would be a reason to be matrid. Lamaisa, what people were saying about Tliya, it's nice, but the Rush doesn't really speak it out. Yeah, the Rashba says that it's Tliya. We can assume this is from the Heter. But Lamaisa, the way the Madani is explaining, it has to be nicker. It has to be clear for a psak din. We already had a psak din on this. Yeah, Lamaisa, it's nepach, right? In order to mafkir the din nepach, you have to have a clear indication that there's no more din nepach anymore, right? If nothing changed about it, and I'm adding something else, then it's Choz Veneer, right? But if something changed, we can't say it's Hukar Yisrael anymore. We go to the status quo, and we may have his ID. It should be mutter. Yeah, is that clear? Clear?
So this part, if I never question, you can see that if it's one status when I wrote this, you have to start with the row. I don't know how it has to start.
Double Choshev is a little bit different, right? Double Choshev is a little bit different.
It is.
And that's also, it depends. We're going to get to Kufiyot, we'll see. It's not so pashut. It depends if it was Parish, or we go into the thing, or the Kviyas, that gets in the Parish and Kviyah. That's the right thing. Okay. Anyway, Tein L'chacham B'yach Kamot. Yeah? So most of what I was saying today was on Sif Beis. I took that liberty because what the last year was on this Machlokas. Sif Aleph is more about how to eat it, one thing. I think that we could probably finish this simon by the end of next week. Does that make sense? Yeah? Which would give us maybe like 3 days even 4 days for Chazara, which would be very good. And maybe, we'll try to still sue Chazrat Hashem. Everyone should be very matzliach. I have one more thing to say before we conclude this year. I'll just turn it off.